Hello, I'm Tom Aspinall and you're watching the KO Show. Oi.
Hi everyone, welcome to the KO Show. Welcome back to the KO Show. I'm Kaz Crossley.
And I'm Ollie Sutherland, and yeah, we're back with another edition of the KO Show. Those of you watching may have noticed my new fashion accessory. More on that later on in the show. Speaking of later on in the show, we're going to be showing you our exclusive interview with the newly crowned heavyweight king, Tom Aspinall. So stay tuned for that. Those of you watching may notice the different scenery. We are up here in St. Helens at Tom Aspinall's gym. So apologies if you hear any clanking weights or people being punched in the face, but we make do. Yeah, let's dive right into it. So we just had the highly anticipated rematch between Magomed Ankalaev and Johnny Walker. It was a good back and forth. Did you know what? It was a weird finish as well, because the actual knockdown, I don't think he was
What was
out
it,
at
right
that
hand?
point. It was a right hand, but he kind of was almost cross-stepping a little bit at the time. So he
So
was
he
off
fell.
balance. But that second shot,
Yeah,
he was done from that
100%.
point. It was a
He
good
was
stoppage.
out.
It was the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
decision.
yeah.
But it's a shame. I'm a big Johnny Walker fan.
Same.
But I'm also a big Ankalaev fan as well. So I was happy to see either of them get a W, but also unhappy to see either of them get the loss. But
I feel like it wasn't that spoke about much. Like it wasn't like that anticipated. Maybe it was just lost in all the other thing that's going on right now.
that's true.
know
I
what I
think
mean?
they could have built a more hype around it, especially considering it's technically a rematch to a degree.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
No,
Or
it is a rematch, it's
continuation of
number
their
two,
first fight. I was actually there in Abu Dhabi for their first fight.
Was you?
Yeah, so I was really disappointed they didn't go, the full
yeah,
fight,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we got to see this one. So we need to get through all of these because there's a lot to
Go
talk
on.
about. We need to talk about Conor McGregor's recent announcement.
So was that announced then? Yeah, he's fighting Chandler.
So here's the thing. He's announced he's fighting Michael Chandler. It's not been officially announced on any official
Well,
channels.
that's what I thought it's been spoke about, and everyone's like predicting it. But is
Well,
it
no,
actually?
He said it's happening. He
But
has
he
said,
chats a lot of shit, babe.
this is the thing.
So how do we know that is true?
He said it's officially happening on June 29th, which checks out. It is a Saturday, but there's no...
It's June 29th, UFC 300
There's
now.
no card named on June 29th.
Oh.
And also, he's saying they're doing it at 185, and I'm finding it hard to buy.
What's 185? The
Middleweight.
Huh?
So that's...
Is he
we're talking
middleweight now?
Nowhere
No.
near. So we're talking like Yoel Romero and Paulo Costa. He's not...
I feel like it's just like a publicity stunt, like just to get people talking about it. Because are you actually thinking he's going to be fighting at middleweight?
All I'll say
June.
is, until I see it on the official UFC website or I hear Dana White announce it, I'm not buying it.
He's
We'll see.
smart. He knows how to get people talking. Do you know what I mean?
If it goes ahead, it's a massive fight. It's a big comeback fight. It's a tough fight, but yeah, until I see it officially on.
Would you say, as an MMA fan, you are really looking forward to the return of Conor McGregor, or is it just kind of like it's been a bit long now? Like no one's asked.
I'm a massive fan of Conor McGregor in his prime.
Yeah, but he's not in his prime now.
This is it, and I don't want to sound in any way disrespectful or sound like I'm not a fan of Conor, because I am a massive fan of Conor, but I don't know if we're going to see the same Conor that we saw against Eddie Alvarez or against I think that's when he was at his prime. I think that's when he was at his best. But that's when he really showcased the best. That was arguably his toughest opponent, and he made him look like an amateur. And I don't know if we're going to see that same Conor McGregor again. And that's what I'm worried about. I would almost rather not see him come back at all than see him come back and not look like
what we remember him to be.
But that being said, he's a massive cash cow for the organization. He's always going to draw in big crowds. I'm of course going to tune in and watch it.
Yeah.
But I want to see the old Conor. I don't want to see. He's put on a lot of size.
Well, that's the thing. Like, people are going to be expecting the old Conor, but they need to realize that this is like however many years gone. He's going to maybe be different.
And again, I don't want to speculate, but there's been a lot said about his kind of mental state. In a lot of recent interviews, he's very erratic. He's sort of
On drugs.
I didn't say it, but
Yeah.
there's been a lot of speculation, and
Right.
it's like, how much is that going to play into it? How much is that going to factor into his
I
fitness?
guess it's
his
exciting,
listening?
even if it's not the prime Conor McGregor that we know. It's just exciting that he's come back and, after the massive injury. And yeah.
Yeah, it's always going to be exciting, and the trash talk's always going to be crazy. The build-up's always going to be crazy. So yeah, I look forward to it regardless. I hope it happens. I just don't think we'll see it at 185. If he announced that fight and said at 155, I'd be more likely to believe it. As it stands right now, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But like I say, we'll wait and see what Dana has to say about it.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there.
This weekend is Plessis and Strickland.
We have to talk about that. So Again, it's an interesting one because the matchup itself has almost been overshadowed a little bit by the trash talk.
The trash talk, they had
The brawl in the
a
crowd.
brawl in the crowd.
It's exciting because there's genuine hatred there, which makes
There
a
is.
fight more, you buy into it more.
I think as well, it's funny, well, it's not funny, but you know, what Sean's been like in his interviews and, you know, crying, but then also like ripping apart Ian Gary and his family situation. It's just a lot of like media around Sean Strickland.
See, here's the thing,
What I feel like, because obviously now it's like he's unlikely champ, right? And now he's gonna be facing someone that we didn't even think would even be as a contender so soon anyway. You know, he's kind of come out of nowhere, but so what do you think about that?
Here's the thing, right? Okay, so I personally think it's very empowering when a full-grown man, especially a professional fighter, can show their emotions and admit that there's things that upset them, stress them out, make them anxious, etc. And actually, you know, no one wants to see a grown man cry in any circumstances, especially when they're talking about a traumatic childhood that they suffered. But he kind of loses favor a little bit when he
Ripping apart people's families and
been
trash
very,
talking.
very personal about people. And then when it's kind of flipped on him, now he's in tears in an interview. I think that's made him less of a sympathetic character than he would be if he hadn't said those things to other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he would have been doing it for sympathy, to cry on camera for him. I
don't think he did it on purpose. What I'm saying is you would have natural sympathy for him as a survivor of child abuse, then talking about it. Of course, that's going to make you emotional and you would relate to that. But because of what he said to other people,
but I think
times,
that's a reflection of his trauma and how he is as a person and how he projects it onto other people. And everyone like displays their trauma in different ways. And he obviously has taken this character to be like this big kind of, you know, the character that he plays. And yeah, I guess he just like kind of broke down in that interview, kind of forgot about the persona that he's doing.
Yeah, and I think what it boils down to as well is what we spoke about on the first episode, where I think there's a certain line that shouldn't be crossed in trash talk, and this is showing it because no one wants to see people crying in interviews. Leon Edwards cried in his post-fight interview because of what was said about his dad. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see people at a disadvantage because they've got personal history they don't want to talk about. That shouldn't be something that's used against them. There's enough to talk about with regards to their abilities and their skills and the matchup itself without going into mums, fathers, sisters, wives.
I don't think they're crying about that. I think they're just crying about their own mental health issues that obviously needs to be kind of looked on as well. Because as fighters, they have a lot of mental health issues that is probably, like you say, because they're men, because of the industry, is not spoke about.
That's
Do
true.
You know what I mean?
But the matchup itself, I wouldn't want to call it. That being said, if I was forced to choose, I would give the nod to DDP just because I think he's the better all-rounder. I think Strickland would probably outstrike him, but I think...
Do you think Strickland has better cardio than him, though? And kind of Plessis is like more of a brawler.
I think they're both
more
cardio
wild.
To be fair,
really?
But I think there's areas where Plessis can potentially outshine Strickland, and that's where he'll get it to lean in his favour, potentially the grappling side of things.
Yeah, this is the first ever UFC event middleweight title that doesn't involve Adesanya from 2017.
That's crazy.
Mad, innit?
That's crazy. Yeah, it's weird.
Do you think he's going to be there?
I don't know. It's weird what's going on with Adesanya.
Is he coming back?
He's made a point of saying he wants to take some time off. I hope we're not talking years.
The way he said it was that it was going to be long, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like, how can it be that long? Because I don't think he's going to give up that title so quickly and easily. Do you know what I mean?
I think surely sitting back watching two fighters that he probably believes he can beat fight for his title, essentially what he probably still believes to be his title.
Yeah. Then he'll come back and take it,
basically. That's got a light of fire around him. So hopefully he'll come back soon. I'm a massive Adesanya fan. I want to see him back in action soon. Of course, we've got to talk about the recent announced AJ versus Ngannou, and we had the press conference yesterday.
Right.
What did you think of the way AJ was behaving? Because a lot's been said of how he's been behaving in the public eye recently in regards to interviews and being almost overly stoic, overly sort of stern-faced, more so than he used to be. What do you make of all that?
I think he kind of just has a point of proof now, like after like his losses and stuff and all the pressure and all the pressure talking about Fury and everything like that. Now, I think AJ just shows, he's wanting to show that he is better than Fury. And if he's not going to fight Fury, he's going to fight people that, you know, everyone's saying that Ngannou beat him. Do you know what I mean? Fury always knocks out the people that Fury just wins to, but he can't stop them. Do you know what I mean? There's been multiple occasions, I won't remember the name, you will know the names well, but Anthony Joshua wants to make a point that he's better than Fury.
I get it, but
So,
I still think it's a weird fight. It makes sense from Ngannou's point of view.
you think it's a weird fight?
Well,
You don't think it's exciting after what happened with Fury?
here's the thing though, technically speaking, on paper, AJ is now fighting an unranked heavyweight who has a 100% losing record. On paper, that's what we're talking about.
On paper, yeah, but think about, because I am a big fan of Ngannou and his story, yeah? Obviously, I love AJ, whatever, but Ngannou's story is crazy.
No, it's
his
massive for
first
Ngannou.
boxing fight, he does Fury, and now his second, yeah, he's fighting AJ.
No, this is my point. It's massive for Ngannou, but I can't really see the advantage for AJ, other than it being a massive payday. But what my point is...
he wants to make a point. This is what I'm saying. Ngannou nearly beat Fury in that it's very close. A lot of people say that Ngannou won. Just the fact that he got a knockdown. I think AJ just wants to show that he can stop Ngannou, and he's going to make a point that I am better than you, Fury. This is why you don't want to fight me, because you think you're going to lose.
I get it, and it's a promoter's dream. You know, it's like, it's the clash of the African giants. You know, they're very they're oddly similar stylistically as well. There's not an obvious sort of like, oh, one's an outside fighter, one's an inside fighter, one's long and rangy, one's sort of, you know, it's not like one's southpaw, one's orthodox. I think they'll actually approach the fight quite similarly.
Do you think?
I honestly, that's another one I don't want to call, because this is the thing. I think on paper, seeing what Ngannou did to Fury, it seems obvious to go for Ngannou. But when Fury fought Ngannou, it seemed obvious to go for Fury. So I wouldn't rule out AJ knocking out Ngannou. I really wouldn't. Just because we've seen so many surprises, so many upsets recently. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if
AJ knocking out Ngannou. No, I think that's what's going to happen.
And he looks solid against Valen as well. So I don't know.
He did look solid. He's back in.
I can't believe how quickly they were able to put it together and get the press conference. This
AJ fight? Yeah.
I thought it was something that we'd be talking about potentially next year happening, or the tail end of this year. The fact that it's happening in March.
But it's good though. Do you know why? This is why I get bored with boxing, because there's so many like potential fights and like potential things happening, and it's all just talk. And then it's like, this actually happened. It's actually happening now. Do you know what I mean? We don't have to wait for it.
I think we've got Saudi Arabia to thank for that. Exactly. They're putting these fights together nicely.
Do you think they're just changing this game of boxing completely?
I think they've changed the
They're saving
landscape. It. Yeah, I think 100%. And I think also, to a degree, going back a little bit, I think the boxing fans have MMA to thank for it. UFC in particular, because they made a point of saying, look, we don't mess around. If two people need to fight, if he's the number one contender and he's the champion, they're going to fight, and it's going to happen this year. And that's become the new model. We don't want to be waiting 3 years for a fight to occur, and then now they're both past their prime. You know, so I think
it's just annoying for me, like how much politics goes behind it, like how long they've been talking about this AJ Fury fight, and it's just like, what? Like, tell me why it doesn't happen.
Well, technically speaking,
I don't get it.
If AJ beats Ngannou and Fury beats Usyk, that fight has to happen. But that's a lot of ifs and buts, and let's see what happens. Yeah. So I don't know, but I'm excited for the fight. I'm actually, in a weird way, more excited for that fight than Fury versus Usyk.
What do you predict for Fury versus Usyk?
Again, on paper, it just makes sense that Fury will win. He's by far the bigger fighter, arguably the more accomplished fighter, especially within the heavyweight division. Yeah. It makes sense that Fury would win.
But are people not worried about his last performance with Ngannou? Or do you think that was just like a...
I think Usyk and Ngannou are I wouldn't say they're chalk and cheese, but they're stature-wise, they're very different. Power-wise, they're very different. The way they approach the fight is going to be very different. I think if Usyk has a chance of beating Fury, it's going to be more that he outpoints him rather than scoring a big knockout. But we'll see. I'm excited about that one too.
When is it again?
I actually can't remember.
Is AJ Ngannou before Fury Usyk?
No, it's after. I'm looking at my friends on camera. I feel like Usyk and
you're the boxing fan.
Listen, I feel like Usyk and Fury is February.
Is in February?
I'm getting the nod. I think it's February. Yeah. We'll run with that. We just had Beterbiev against Callum Smith. That was an amazing fight. I think Beterbiev, what is he now? 20 wins, 20
stoppages, 20 wins, 20. Well, undefeated.
Yeah, and I think that makes him the only champion currently to have a 100% finish record. Wow. Which is insane. And again,
how old is he?
38.
Ooh.
So he's considered old for a fighter, but
Yeah.
I think now it's time to just give him some massive fight. I would love to. There's already talk about him versus Dimitri Bivol. That would be a humongous fight. They need to make that happen. Again, let's not wait until 2025. Let's not wait until he fights him and then he fights him. Let's make it happen.
What did you think of Bivol fighting Lyndon?
Of course, we haven't even recapped on that. That was
the day of reckoning.
That fight went as I thought it would. But if anything, it was actually more one-sided than I thought it was going to be. Because Lyndon Arthur is a very legit contender, but I just don't think he had the answer for the pressure that Bivol put on him. But that's
surprised he went the whole way.
Yeah, and to be fair, losing to Bivol, there's no shame in that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he done well.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen Lyndon Arthur get that done, but it is what it is. I think once he made that decision sort of midway through the fight to go on the defensive rather than he was never going to pull himself back into that fight.
And next, let's talk about Wilder versus Parker. Do you think Wilder's finished now?
Here's the thing, right? For me, Wilder just didn't show up for that fight.
Yeah, he was like, where are you?
Like, I would love to...
Are you there?
I haven't looked at them, but I would love to look at the punch stats in terms of the output. Not necessarily landing, but he just didn't seem to have the output in even shots thrown, let alone shots landed.
Yeah, he wasn't even he was just taking it, and then normally there's like some return, some exchange, some trading.
That's what I mean.
It was weird, doesn't it?
I think on his best day, he beats Parker every time.
That's what everyone thought.
Yeah. I think a lot of people saw it as a foregone conclusion, and then that would tee up AJ and Wilder. The thing that made me kind of concerned that we might not see Wilder back in the ring.
He's in this TV show.
Well, no, it's that his post-fight interview. He was sort of saying, "Oh, you know, I've achieved this. I'm very thankful. I've made a lot."
Was he saying like goodbye kind of thing?
It almost sounded like a retirement speech, and that had me a little bit concerned.
No, did you not see he's on that reality TV show? Wilder. He's on Traitors, US in America.
Oh, Jesus.
He's on the same show as like people that I was in Love Island with. Not my show, but like the he's with like all like reality TV people in America. And someone commented on it. They said that guy going on a reality TV show in exchange to win. Oh, you win money, you win £250,000 is like me going on a reality show for a chance to win $40.
Yeah, kind of.
Literally.
I mean,
but he was crying on it as well. You need to see this.
Okay, I need to catch up. I've not seen this.
It's called Traitors, and because they have to like pick someone to like get eliminated and stuff. And I think he picked the wrong person, and he was crying on the show. But I don't know when it was filmed. Because when was Day of Reckoning? Like 3 weeks? They must have been filmed ages ago. But it would have been filmed when he was in camp. Maybe it's now.
Who knows?
Maybe it's live. It's just mad.
Listen, whether we'll see Wilder in the ring anytime soon,
so
I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot to... I'm really excited about this weekend.
I'm really excited about this weekend. What, Strickland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think, the main thing I'll keep
an eye on. And
it's my
birthday. On Saturday.
You didn't have to tell me that. I did know that.
No, you didn't.
The 20th.
No, the 20th.
Yeah, not your 20th.
Oh, yeah.
The 20th.
Yeah.
Her 20th, you know.
Yeah. My birthday.
Yeah, I hadn't forgot. I hadn't forgot. Now you make it look like I did forget.
No, you didn't know, because
I remembered.
I was expecting like a birthday shout out, but whatever, next year. You're not invited. Awkward. You're going to crap my style, babe. I can't be seen with people that can't fight, do you know what I mean?
You're killing me today. You know what, yeah, just for that, you're not invited to mine.
When's yours?
August. But that's... I've already made plans for it, but you're just not invited. And also, it's just been announced that Lomachenko is going to be fighting Kambosos. I cannot wait for that fight. Stylistically, that could potentially be fight of the year. If that goes the way it could go and should go, you're going to see something special on that night.
Who are you leaning more towards?
Again, I love making predictions, but these are also, all the ones I've been trying to make today are just so difficult.
Just do it. Stop being a pussy.
Kambosos.
How?
Decision. I think.
Oh, decision.
Yeah, but it's tough because Loma versus Devin Haney, I actually think Loma won that fight, and a lot of people do. But technically he didn't. So if it goes that same way, Kambosos, I don't know. All I know is I'm looking forward to it. I would love to see, I'm a big Loma fan. I would like to see Loma get the win. But who knows? I think in his recent fights, he's known to be a slow starter, but in his recent fights, he's not been sort of picking up the pace until like round 6, and by then it's often too late. So if he starts early enough, and puts the pace on Kambosos, he can win that fight. But it's going to be a good one to watch. I'm excited.
I'm still not a boxing fan, sorry.
We're going to make you a boxing fan. We're going to make
I'm
you a
excited
boxing
for
fan.
you.
Anyway, enough about that. As promised, we have the honour and privilege of being joined by the newly crowned heavyweight king, Manchester's very own, Mr. Tom Aspinall.
Hello, thank you. Thank you.
I'm trying to clap, but
Thank you very much.
Tom, thank you for having us here.
Thank you.
We're in your gym that you train at. You've just been finished training with MVP.
Yeah.
How was it?
No, it was great. It was great. Me and obviously I've known about Mike for a long time. Like I'm an MMA fan first and foremost. Yeah, met Mike a few weeks ago now. We spoke back and forward. I like Mike as a person. I like his fighting style, and yeah, it's good to get some work in. Yeah, really good.
quick question.
Go.
Who won?
Well, today we're mainly grappling. I obviously have a big size advantage on Mike, so
Fair.
it's more in my favour. But Mike actually surprised me a lot with his grappling technique. Like the guy's really good.
Okay.
He gets up really well off the bottom. He's flexible. His balance is incredible. And if we're the same size, it'd be a little bit different, for sure.
Interesting. I've got to say, we're in your gym. I've had cryotherapy sessions warmer
It's
than
cold,
this.
mate. It's so cold.
Do you like training in the cold? Is it something you...
I hate the cold. I absolutely hate the cold.
It is snowing outside though.
yeah, it is
as
snowing,
well,
yeah.
just to say.
But it's a cold gym. Do you know what? It's so weird because I'm so accustomed to you being the champ. It's hard to believe it was only 2 months ago that you actually won the title.
Yeah.
Talk to us. What's life been like since that moment?
From New York.
It's been pretty normal, to be honest. You know, I don't live. I try and live life as normal as possible. I'm not into like the celebrity stuff too much, to be honest. It's not really my scene. So
So it hasn't changed that much, you're saying?
I mean, I'm definitely more well known than I was, but I think being like 6'5",
Yeah.
with the ears and stuff, and I think it's pretty like I think people knew who I was anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I think maybe even a bit more so now. But I don't, to be honest with you, I don't really go public places that much. I just like stick in a routine. I train twice a day. I'm focused on the job. I'm trying to be the best heavyweight ever, and I just stick to that. I just go to the gym and back. I take my kids to school every day, and I just
I
stick
feel
to
like
that.
you do give that vibe of just like a normal guy. Like,
I try. I mean, you got to do what works, and that works for me. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna start switching up and acting different just
that's why
because.
we're thankful for coming here as well, like giving us your
course,
time.
of course.
I don't want to beat around the bush, but I have to get into the Jon Jones back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
That was just super, super exciting for me. I don't even have Twitter, but I was getting my friends screenshot this, screenshot that. I need to see. And it was just like, yeah, really good. But I need to get your reaction to this one in particular. Tom, you talking about someone's ego running wild is one of the most hypocritical things ever. You literally haven't kept my balls out of your mouth since you won that imaginary championship. To me, that was wild that he's even said that.
Yeah, I think the thing with Jon, I don't know. All I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. I'm just trying to get a fight against him.
Yeah, and that's
it.
clear to see that.
And he keeps taking it all these different ways and deflecting it onto resumes and disrespecting his career and all the rest of it. I'm not trying to do any of that. I completely... What I want to do is be the best in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't like having a belt and there being another guy who everyone's like, well, you need to beat this guy to be the best in the world.
Right.
Like, I want to be the guy. It's not as complicated as people are making it out like. People like Jon Jones are making out like, oh, resumes and background and he's been doing this for that long. I don't dispute any of that. What I dispute is there being two champions and us not fighting each other.
Well, that's the thing. So I didn't understand what interim meant. I had to ask like one of my friends. And I thought that being an interim champ means that you are next in line for the undisputed. So I don't understand. And maybe you can explain to me why Dana is not giving you that opportunity to fight Jon Jones. And whose decision is it at the end of the day? Because Jon Jones is saying that he doesn't want to fight you. But like, whose decision is it? And why is it
Well, first of
not
all,
you?
I'll just address the first thing that you said. I thought it meant exactly the same. That's what I thought it meant.
Ordinarily it does.
Yeah, I thought the interim basically means like the champion while the undisputed champion is injured.
Yes.
That's what and then
Right.
when he comes back, they're going to fight. But apparently the UFC want to do this kind of legends match of these two, which is great, but I don't see why they want to do that why they want to hold the title up and do it that way. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm just as confused as everybody else.
It's just like kind of bending the rules almost. And if it's the same for everyone else, like why isn't it the same for, maybe because it's Jon Jones and they're trying to protect him.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Jones and Stipe?
I think it would have been a good fight like 5 years ago. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I still watch it, I still enjoy it and everything. And I think a lot of people get it twisted what I said. I've got so much respect for both Jon and Stipe.
Of course you do.
I'm just trying to be the best.
Be the best,
yeah,
exactly.
That's it. I'm not trying to like disrespect any of them. I've got so much respect for both of them. As we said at the start of the podcast, first and foremost, I'm a fan of the sport. But yeah,
do you think ultimately Jon Jones is just scared of like you're like modern day heavyweight, your speed, your agility, like he can't match up to it.
I think he's smart. I don't think he's scared.
Yeah.
And I think if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be trying to do the same thing. Like if I could get more money potentially for fighting a guy who's 42, not fought for 4 years and coming off a loss, as opposed to a guy who's active, 30 and knocking everybody out, I would definitely take the 42-year-old and get the more money and the easier fight.
But also, is that what people want, though? As like an MMA fan, is that what you want to see Jon Jones and Stipe being like a long-term
Not really.
MMA fan?
I think you hit the nail on the head. The interim champion means when the official champion's back, it's time for them to face off and fight. I mean, I know you've touched on this before. What are your overall views on the whole interim champion? I mean, you'll notice that when I introduced you earlier, I didn't use the term interim because from my point of view, if the current champion isn't fit to fight, he's not really the current champion. I understand where there's going to be people saying, well, you haven't beat the official champion, so how can you call yourself the official champion? But if the official champion isn't in a state to fight, how are you not the best active heavyweight there is?
Yeah. Also, he doesn't want to fight you either.
I know, it's just strange. It's a very odd situation. It's a situation that I didn't think I would be in. Granted, when I took the fight against Pavlovich, I was kind of like semi-aware that he wanted to carry on with that fight, but I was pretty sure that like me knocking out Pavlovich on short notice, that would like eclipse that.
That was
but apparently it didn't. Apparently it didn't. So you know what? I've said what I need to say. I'm not going to cry about it anymore. Like if that's the way that the UFC want to go, I'm just going to have to take out everybody else. And it's saying something that the undisputed champion doesn't want to fight me. And I'm kind of taking it as a compliment right now. I would love to fight Jon Jones. That's my dream fight. But if he doesn't want it, what more can I do?
You've spoken a lot about your legacy and you wanting to be known as the best heavyweight there is. What does that look like? What do you believe is required of you to be able to say, I am the best heavyweight there is?
I think I've got to beat all... to me, personally, being the best is beating the guy under you. That, to me, that's what the best is. Is like, the best guy is beating the number two guy consistently. Like, if you're number one, you need to consistently beat the number two guy. And heavyweight MMA is so wild, anything can happen. Like, MMA as a sport on its own is wildly unpredictable anyway.
That's why
when you get massive guys with tiny gloves, it becomes even more so. So yeah, I think just
and
defending
all your fights
the title.
knockout anyway as well.
I've got some submissions there as well.
Yeah.
I've got some submissions.
But all finishes. And in fact, you currently hold the record for the shortest average fight time at 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yep.
Shortest average fight time. Wow.
That's right.
That's incredible.
I'll keep it that way if I can.
Don't you have a record of like fight of the nights consecutively as well?
I'm not sure. I know I've got quite a lot. I think in 8 fights I've got 6 bonuses, I think. Oh wait, how many fights have I had? I might have had 9 fights. I don't even know. I've got a lot of bonuses.
Actually, because I was just talking to your dad, like I'm actually a fan of your dad as well, because actually I watched I watched a video online and you actually made me cry. So you was backstage and they must have told you that you got fight of the night. Yeah. And then it hit you so hard that you started crying.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And then your dad hugged you.
Yeah.
Babe, I was literally like bawling my eyes out. So when I saw Andy, I was like, he asked for a picture with me. He's like, have you been on Love Island? And I was like, yeah. He's like, can I have a picture? I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Oh, you have been? I didn't even know you've been on Love Island.
No, yeah, ages ago. Yeah.
Oh, my dad's well kept up with Love Island.
Yeah, how is your relationship with your dad? Obviously, he's been there through everything and trained you and stuff.
It's great. It's great. Yeah. I always say, like, if we finish this podcast right now, we're in the car on the way back, and my dad said, you know what, Tom? You should just retire from MMA. I'd just be like, yep. Absolutely, will do. And that's just the way it works.
One of your media team said that they needed to get you to do something, and they'll ask your dad to ask you because you actually like really respect what he says.
He's one of the only people in life I'll listen to fully, to be honest. Yeah.
think
I don't do that all the time. I try and do it as much as I can.
I know you're a massive fan of George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
I think you were talking to Ariel Hawani, speaking about your adoration for George St. Pierre, and you actually got a little bit choked up talking about him. And there's similarities between the two of you in the way you carry yourself as human beings. And we just touched upon your amazing relationship with your dad. And that sort of softer side to you, that humility that you carry, has made you something of a people's champ and a sort of a role model. Is that something that you embrace, or is that something you kind of go, hey, I don't want that responsibility of being seen as a role model? Because some people embrace it and some people don't want that.
Oh, first of all, thanks, mate. That's a big compliment. I don't know. I never see myself as a role model. I just, with me, right? I just try and be myself. That's all. I'm not trying to complicate things. I think everybody's got their own thing in this sport that they want to do. People have got little niches they do, like Colby Covington and people like that, and they want to sell the fight and do all that. Me personally, I'm more comfortable being myself. So I just focus on that. I'm trying to enjoy this sport. I know it's not going to last forever. I know I've probably got hopefully another 10 years left in me, and I'm just trying to enjoy it while I'm here and just be myself along the way. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody apart from myself.
Yeah, and I think that shines through. I think the authenticity really shines through, and I think that's what makes you so relatable and so likable as well.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and a really good representation of just British MMA. And I feel like me, I consider myself a more newer fan to UFC. I told you, my first ever UFC fight that I was there was your
Oh, I didn't know it was your first one.
Yeah, the first one.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
So imagine that was the first UFC London back after COVID, and just the arena, the atmosphere, and then you, then Paddy and everyone. And it was wow, I love this shit, you know what I mean? So, and then I'm really good friends with Brendan, and he just became champion. You've become champion, Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the UK MMA scene and how much it's growing right now?
Do you know what? It's so amazing right now that when I first started watching MMA and started becoming involved with the sport, if there was a UK guy in the UFC, they were like a freaking god. It was oh my God, this guy is in the UFC. There's 2 or 3 guys in. And now there's people getting in the UFC and I've never heard of them before. And that's not, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to them. I'm saying shit, there's so many good people on the local scene that they're slipping in and I don't even know, I've never even heard of them. You go watching local shows, when the Cage Warriors is in Manchester, I'll always go, I always support Cage Warriors. I think it's a really good show. And the talent on there is incredible. On these local shows now, they're absolutely unbelievable. And I think for such a small country that we're from, I think we've got so many good fighters, and the next 10, 20, 30 years is going to be insane.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be absolutely insane.
Teddy Atlas, the very famous boxing trainer and commentator, has a theory that when a fighter becomes champion, he becomes 30% better. Have you felt a shift in your training and your mindset since becoming champion, or is it still every day is a school day and business as usual?
I don't. It's hard to say because I'm not 40 yet. I don't know. I feel the same. I feel the same at the moment. I feel I definitely got the title now. It's an interim title, I know, but it's definitely a version of a world champion. But I still feel I've got so much work to do. I don't feel anywhere near satisfied. I think maybe one day when I've retired and I chill, I'll be able to reflect on it and be yeah, that was good. But now I'm just looking for the next challenge, It's just the next one, the next one, the next one. Yeah. That's the way it works. So I'm looking forward to testing that theory out, though, to be honest. I think that it gives you, especially with the circumstances of my last fight, not having a training camp, flying across the world, having an injury, and still winning. I think that just gives me, and especially against the opponent it was against, I think that definitely gives me a lot of confidence in itself. So I think being able to pull that off under the circumstances that'll give me a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the injury, bro. Does it feel that much sweeter knowing that you achieved what you achieved, having come back from an injury that for many athletes would have been a career-ending injury? For those who don't know, you tore your MCL and your meniscus.
Yeah.
Did it make it that much sweeter, that much more of a comeback fight, so to speak, a comeback story? Did it make it that much sweeter having to overcome that as well?
Definitely.
I felt like you healed pretty quickly from that. I don't know.
I had a really good physio, and I had a really good surgeon. And you know what? I think that I really put I treated the rehab process like a training camp.
Okay, you were strict with it.
Yeah, I was so strict. I was doing rehab 2 3 times a day. I was doing to be honest, I was more strict with it than I was training. I was eating clean. I was sleeping. I was getting all the right stuff, getting all the treatment that I should. I was so strict with my my rehab process, but you know what? I had a bad knee for so long. My knee was bad for years.
I didn't realise that before. I thought it was just from the fight. Yeah.
No, it was bad. I mean, it gave up on the fight. It just completely blew out on the fight. But
There.
that was the worst thing ever.
Oh, bless you.
But I think that it gave me a whole new perspective. You know, it gave me like a lot of time to think about what I really want and think about the future moving forward. And I made some adjustments, and it worked out amazing. Like at the time, it was the worst thing ever. Like it was the shittest thing ever. But long term, like I think it was the best thing that ever happened in my career. Yeah.
I think a lot of injuries that happen to fighters, it takes a big toll on their mental health.
Yeah,
I feel like
tough. It's really tough.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you say that was the biggest like obstacle you've had to face in your career, or have you had previous ones, like, you know, when you mentioned when you couldn't get a fight, and when you found out you was having twins, how does it compare to that?
There's a lot of something I'm learning is it just never really stops. The whole mental struggle. Like being successful brings a whole new pressure in itself. Like people don't like you seeing like even this Jon Jones stuff. Like the other day, it's like I met someone in the street and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I've met you. I've literally just done a Facebook, an Instagram post about you." I was like, "Oh, that's cool, mate. Let me check it." So I went on my DMs, went on my message requests, which I don't usually do.
Yeah.
Clicked on a message request. I was like, "Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, we had a little chat about his post." Then I went and read some of the DMs, and people like sending me death threats for wanting to fight Jon Jones, and it's just like, you just can't win, man. I'm just over here trying to be the best that I can be, and trying to get a fight. And like people get upset by it, and it's like there's struggles everywhere you turn. And like if you're doing good, there's struggles. If you're doing bad, there's struggles. So you just got to try and embrace it for what it is.
I think being in the UFC and then being a champ will bring all that side into it as well, like the trolling and you just have to always, like I do as well. I have to remember, like, imagine how sad your life must have to be to go online and say something about someone that you don't even know.
Definitely.
And you have to think they've been following Jon Jones for ages, and he can just say one thing like imaginary championship, and they actually believe him. Do you know what I mean? So.
Oh, but let me say, I don't think the interim's I want to be the undisputed champion. That's why I want to fight him.
Yeah,
I don't want to be known as an imaginary champ. I want to be the real champ. That's predominantly the reason I want to fight him.
It's so bittersweet though as well, because you've literally done everything you can to do that. You just have to, I guess, wait.
Just got to roll with it a little bit.
See how it goes. But then it's just going to be annoying if he retires, and then it's like.
Yeah, I get it though. I do understand.
Who do you think wins out of Jones and Stipe?
I think Jones should win it. I don't know. Stipe's good. Stipe's really good. And I know he's getting older, but like 42, there's a lot of heavyweights still fighting at 42. Yeah. It's not the smaller weights. I don't know what, for whatever reason, the smaller weights, like by the time they're 30, they're like old. But like the heavyweights, they go to like way into the 40s. So I don't know. It's interesting, mate. As a fan, like I do want to see it, but also as a fan, I'd definitely rather see Jon Jones against me.
Well, that's another thing. It's like, if it was really exciting to watch, we'd be getting all these retired MMA fighters like out of the scene to fight each other, but no one actually wants to see that. Do you know what I mean? We want to see like the best of the best.
Yeah.
But since I moved to Manchester, I've realised that you guys love Oasis and you're a massive fan. And you did mention that maybe Noel Gallagher will walk you out in one of your fights. Is that on the card still?
Don't know, so we have like a mutual friend.
Yeah, mutual friend. So you're not actually friends with Noel?
No.
Okay.
And a couple of days ago, the mutual friend said, "Noel's just asked for your number. Do you mind if I send it him?" And I was like, absolutely.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
But I've not heard anything yet. So that was literally like 2 days ago.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I've not heard anything yet. So if he wants to do that, we can definitely speak about it.
That'd be pretty epic. I want to talk about your record as well, because officially you have 3 losses on your record, but 2 of them, one of them obviously came by the injury 15 seconds into the Curtis Blades fight. And another one was ironically similar to Jon Jones' only loss, the DQ for the 12-6 elbows. I was having a conversation with my photographer on the way up here, and there's a part of me that almost believes there should be a separate category for injuries like you suffered and DQs, that they shouldn't go down as loss. There should almost be like a new category for them, because it just seems wrong to me that it's not like he checked the kick, you landed the kick clean, and unfortunately the injury occurred. Does it sting you a little bit that goes down as a loss? Do you believe that there should be a separate category for that, or do you think it is what it is? And
no, I don't think so. I think that I'm like a traditionalist in martial arts and stuff, and I think that if you can't carry on you've lost. Simple as that. Like,
You've been stopped.
I don't want to sound like a big macho guy, but it's like, if that was on the streets,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
You'd be done.
you're done. Exactly. Yeah, you're done. So, yeah, I think that's a genuine loss. And as I've said, if this Jon Jones fight isn't going on, which it doesn't seem to be, if Curtis Blades wins his next fight, that is one that I would...
But that's what I want to ask you. Do you feel like there's a bit of unfinished business there?
Yeah, I mean, Curtis is a great guy. Let me start by saying I've got a lot of respect for him. But professionally, we've got unfinished business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't like the fact that it says that I've lost to him and I need to get that back.
Nah, understandable.
Another potential heavyweight contender that he might be going up is Alex Pereira. And did you say that he was actually eyeing you up at the
Well, I don't know.
press conference?
He's definitely not friendly.
But this is when you said that, I did think, I think like that's kind of his...
That's his thing.
Yeah, like his aura, like he's just a bit stern face
You got to
and not
remember as
friendly
well,
guy.
when we've seen each other, we were very close to a fight. So people get in different mindsets and stuff like that. So I get that. And then...
But how was it? You met him and you spoke to him and then...
no, it was fine. Like, everything was good. It was cool. But
you got the impression that he could have been eyeing you up.
But I think the fight got offered to him, actually, because there was a bit of rumours going around about us two fighting.
On UFC 300?
And I think that he said... I think he maybe just got asked in an interview about it, and he said that he wants a bit more time to, like, put some weight on and stuff.
Right.
And I understand that. Like, I'm not trying to get a fight with him. I thought he was trying to get a fight with me. So
Right.
if he's trying to get a fight with me, I'm definitely accepting. But I'm not chasing that fight. Do you know what I mean? If he wants it,
of course.
If he wants it, we can do it. But, yeah, I just thought he was trying to get the fight with me.
Interestingly, Saudi Arabia recently is looking like it's becoming it's quickly replacing Las Vegas as the sort of unofficial fight capital of the world. Obviously, we had the big Fury and the Ngannou fight there. But that being said, Fury's often talked about wanting to bring a big fight to Old Trafford, obviously being a Manchester boy. And I don't think we've had a fight there since '93 when it was like Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank. So it's a long time ago. Do you share that same dream of...
Oh, of course. The issue is we're in Manchester and the weather isn't great and they don't have a roof. They're the main issues. Even like in the height of summer, it's still potential to rain. But I know they're just building a new arena now in Manchester. And I'm hearing some pretty good rumours that they're going to do a UFC there this year. So
that could be exciting.
That's that
Don't
arena's...
gas me.
So it might not be the theatre of dreams, but it might still be Manchester
that's
fight.
coming. And I think there's going to be 25,000. It's right next to City's ground.
The Etihad.
Right.
So it's a new one.
It's a new one, yeah.
What's it called? Are they building it now?
Building it now. It's going to be finished in April.
What?
Or either March or April. I think it might be the Co-op Arena.
The
maybe.
Co-op?
Yeah, I think so.
Co-op arena.
What?
You know
I
what
might
Co-op
be-
is? It's like a shopping...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
One sec. I'm going to Google it right now. I'm pretty sure... I might have made that up, though. Yeah, I might have made that up. I don't
You heard it here first. We're going to have Manchester
Oh, no,
UFC.
no, I'm right. Co-op Live Arena is an indoor arena currently under construction in Manchester, England, due to open April 2024.
That's
Wow.
exciting.
It is planned to have the largest maximum capacity of any indoor arena in the United Kingdom, greater than the existing Manchester Arena, which is under 2 miles away.
That's
Boom.
crazy.
Oh my
It's coming.
God.
All right, so watch this space.
Oh my
That's what
God.
I'm hearing. Strong rumours, but they might just be rumours. But that would be amazing.
But you'll definitely be there
I'll
then,
be
haven't
there.
you?
I'll be there.
Literally.
Yeah, could sell that out, no problem.
Obviously, with the UK MMA scene and the fact that it is more likely for people to fight each other rather than boxing, which is all like politics and stuff. Like, we've been talking to MVP about how he wants to fight Leon.
That'd be amazing.
If you was going to put your dream card together of like different UK MMA fighters, who would you want to see?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there's not. So we have one on the UK heavyweight in the UFC. He's
Go
a
on.
training partner. He was just here before. Mick
really?
Parkin. Yeah, he's 2-0 in the UFC now.
So would you fight him?
No, I wouldn't. We're friends. I couldn't do it. I don't know. You know, I would love to see Leon and MVP though. That'd be incredible.
How do you think that would go? He's right behind the camera, guys.
He stood
But
right
ignore
there.
him. Yeah.
Also, me and Leon are friends, so that becomes a
Oh,
little bit awkward.
yeah.
I would love to see
As
it.
a
though.
non-friend
I would love to see it.
perspective.
It'd be a very interesting style matchup.
Yeah.
There'd be a very interesting style matchup. I love Mike's style of striking. I think Leon's, the way he defends takedowns is ridiculously underrated. It's incredible the stuff that he does. But I think it takes like a well-trained eye to see how well he does stuff. Like he does stuff so well. He's so clean with his technique. I think that's a 50-50 fight. I'd love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. But as far as a card, I don't know. There's so many UFC fighters now. I don't know.
Yeah.
We spoke earlier about obviously the trash talk between you and Jon Jones, and we also touched briefly on Colby Covington and his style of trash talk. Obviously, his recent comments towards Leon Edwards caused a big stir, and the fans were kind of split. Some were saying, you know, it's a fight, whatever goes.
A fight game,
And then there's a lot of people saying, you know, there's a line that shouldn't be crossed. Where do you sit on that? And do you think that it's time that the UFC started introducing potential penalties for when it does go too far?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it, man. I don't like it at all. I think that, you can talk all you want about how you're going to beat the guy up. It's a fight. You're going to fight. That's cool.
Of course.
When you start bringing people's family into it, the mothers and fathers and the kids and all the rest of this, like, that should not be allowed. It's ridiculous. Like, create hype. Create a sport. Create anticipation for the fight. Piss the other guy off if you think that's going to help you. But there's a line that should be drawn, and that's ridiculous. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. Obviously, AJ versus Ngannou has been announced. What do you make of that matchup?
Incredible fight, to be honest. See, before Ngannou fought Fury, I would be like, Ngannou does not have a chance. This is ridiculous.
That fight changed everything.
Yeah, I would be like, this is the most ridiculous fight ever. What's going on? Now I'm like, I can't wait for that fight. I think it's going to be incredible. I think Ngannou obviously has a lot of ability that I know I wasn't aware of. Like, looking from the outside, I was like, this guy's
in terms
raw.
of boxing.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's raw. He's powerful as hell. He's obviously an absolute specimen. If he hits anyone, he can obviously knock him out. But boxing ability, he doesn't have much. But I was so wrong. Like, I've sparred a million rounds with Tyson Fury. I've known him since I was like 20 years old. The guy's absolutely incredible.
With him,
yeah, I'm friends with him. The guy's absolutely incredible. I know how good Tyson Fury is. And I think the fight could have gone either way. I think it was absolutely incredible. So fair play to Francis Ngannou. Can't wait to see his fight with AJ.
We can't talk about heavyweights without talking about Ngannou. He's one of the greatest to do it. That being said, he's now gone over to PFL. Is he someone you still feel like you need to get your hands on to cement your legacy as the best? And if so, would you be prepared to do that in boxing?
I don't think he's someone I need to fight necessarily, but I would fight him, definitely. It becomes tricky now, doesn't it? It becomes all political. Like, I'm in the UFC. I just signed a new contract with the UFC. I've got another 5 fights. He has his thing going with PFL. He's boxing, so who knows, man? But that's a fight that I would definitely take if I got the opportunity. Would
you cross over into boxing one day? Like, you wouldn't rule it out?
Because you are 1-0 as a boxer, aren't you?
I have had a boxing fight. Yeah, I've had one. It's not something I'd rule out. Definitely not. I don't want to be like one of these. See, somebody asked me. This is something else that goes wild with the media stuff. Someone asked me, like, this whole political thing's happening now with Jon and Stipe.
Yeah.
In the meantime, would I box? So I was like, yeah, I guess. Like, it was literally like answered
professionally?
Like that. Oh, yeah, it went mad, didn't it?
Yeah, and then everyone's like, Tom Aspinall wants to switch to boxing. I don't want to switch to boxing. I'm saying, like, I wouldn't mind having 1 or 2 before the career's over.
It's just the internet. They just take something and then everyone believes it.
Yeah,
like, I always see these fake cards, and I'm like, I saw Michael's fight with Kevin Holland, like, before it was even announced.
Yeah.
And before he even announced he was going to the UFC, and I was like pissed off because I was like, you haven't even told me that you're going to the UFC, and it's like, it's fake.
Yeah,
it's
there's
like,
so much stuff going on like that. But you know, sometimes, like, I've literally signed a contract that day, and someone can get a hold of it and post about it. Like, it was not with the UFC, like some random website or Instagram page, whatever, and they'll post it, and I'm like, how the hell do you know that fight's on? I've literally just signed the contract. Like, how? I've not even sent it to the UFC. Like, sometimes I'll send it to the UFC, and instantly, before the UFC have announced it, it's out there. I'm like, how the hell does that even happen?
It's the fans, man. They're dedicated, literally.
This is a little bonus round I've created. It's called...
Is it you need to get a sponsored bonus round, you see. You need to say, this is a bonus round sponsored by... Boom.
He's right. He's ahead of the game. He's ahead of the game.
Literally.
That's something to prepare for next time. So this bonus round is called, Why Don't You Have a Nickname? Because I know unofficially you threw the name Honey Badger around, but
I saw that. I thought it was real.
No. That never really caught on.
And why was it going to be Honey Badger?
So
because we're talking me and DC and John Anik. You know John Anik. He's like the UFC commentator.
Yeah.
He's really good. Like I think he's amazing at his job. He's such a good guy as well. We were chatting. Like we have like a fighter meeting before, like on the fight week, and you just talk about like personal life, how your training's been, so the commentators can talk about it during the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about fear and stuff because I'm like open with the fact that I'm scared before I fight. Like I don't hide it away. And I said, I think it helps me. Like I've used fear as a weapon to be like, I can use it to harness me to win. I feel I can use it as a weapon. And I was talking about that. And John Anik said, "Oh, you like a honey badger?" I was like, "What the fuck's that? Honey badger?" He started telling me, "Oh, honey badgers like they attack lions and stuff when they're scared, and they can kill lions and do all this weird stuff that they can't do." But as far as nicknames go, I think it's pretty like some people have really good ones, like MVP goes so well. Like
Leon
Venom
Rocky
Page.
Edwards, the notorious
like,
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, it's good, but like
I've taken the liberty
To make one.
I don't like
where it's going.
nicknames for you. You don't like where it's going. Listen,
go on.
well,
He doesn't need a nickname.
listen. Well, you might like these.
Okay.
Before I do this, I actually wrote these last year, and it looks like I'm reading through these now. I'm guessing I was drinking at the time because they start off quite
You
normal.
wrote them last year for him?
Yeah.
Wrong last year, why?
Well, last year technically was only a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's true.
let's not blow this out of proportion. But yeah, like these start off quite normal and then they slowly but surely descend.
Okay, go on.
A bit weird.
How many are there?
If you like any, would
There's
you?
about 10.
Would you consider bringing it on?
No pressure.
I can't see me like it. Any nickname.
Okay,
No
well,
pressure.
I'll pick
Go on.
soon, go
Well,
on.
you have to pick your favourite
Go on
one
then,
and then
go on.
we'll
I'll
give
pick my
Bruce proper
favourite one.
record and then he
I'll pick my
announces
favourite
it.
one. Go on.
All right, so they start off normal. The Northern Nightmare, like the Nigerian Nightmare, but
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
not
I
Nigerian.
love
That's actually not
Actually,
too
you like
bad.
that one.
That's not too bad.
Right. The Salford Sleeper.
Ooh.
Nope.
No,
Because you was
okay.
born there,
I
but
was
you
actually
wasn't.
born there, but I'm not actually
Yeah,
from
yeah,
there.
yeah,
But
yeah.
anything to do with
We'll
just
put it
Anything
down.
to do. He
We'll put
doesn't
it down
claim
as-
Salford.
We'll
Sorry,
put it down as
guys.
a maybe. The Mancunian Monster.
no, corny.
We'll put it
Corny.
down as another
I don't
mind
mind the first one so far. That's it.
Okay,
The first one's alright.
You're not from Wigan, but you've done quite a lot of your training in Wigan, right?
Yeah,
That's good enough. The Big Un from Wigan.
it's not bad. I know my friend's a powerlifter, and he uses that.
Oh, is it? So
he's-
it's high
he's taken.
taken.
Okay.
You got that one, yeah.
Don't
You got
worry.
that one.
Oh my god.
This is rough. The Mank Tank.
It's all right. It's not bad. I don't really like any of them so far, but go on.
If you
Keep
don't
going.
like, I'll be honest.
Keep going. If you must,
I'll be
keep
honest.
going.
If you don't like that one, you're not going to like the next one.
Right, go on.
Thomas the Mank Engine.
No, it's not. I don't like them.
You're not actually from Manchester, are you? It's like outside of Manchester.
It's great.
is it
Yeah, it's great in Manchester.
Okay, grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cut me some slack here,
Sorry,
Kaz. If you're not
sorry.
going to
No,
say
you're doing
something
really well, babe.
positive,
You're doing really well. You're doing really
then
well.
I'm going to have to ask you to keep your opinions to yourself because you're embarrassing me in front of
Go
Tom
on.
Aspinall.
Go on. Keep going.
This is where it gets a bit crazy. Tom Smashamall Aspinall.
Oh!
I hate ones like that. They're the corniest.
It's a bit long-winded,
The
but I really
corniest
like
ones.
that.
He hates that one. Right. Okay. I have to do the accent for this one.
Go on.
So
Oh, he's really good at accents.
Oh, you?
yeah, yeah.
I'm not.
Don't worry.
Tom. Hold on, sorry. Tom, don't do now, but knock him out. Aspinall.
It's not bad. It's a bit long though. It's a bit long, but it's not
It
bad.
is a bit long,
Don't do
and I
now.
think Bruce Buffer would struggle with the accent. So, can we call Thomas the Mank Engine the winner?
No,
No,
the
I like the
first
first one.
one.
The North, was it the Northern
Northern
Nightmare?
Nightmare.
It's all right.
Northern Nightmare.
It's all right.
All right,
But
I'll just
still, we're
I'll
not going for
WhatsApp
it.
Dana White right now and get that official.
We're not
Listen,
going for
you
it.
don't have to have a nickname. Brendan doesn't have a nickname.
No, a lot of people don't have a nickname. I
Yeah.
think it's so. Some of them, I can appreciate a good nickname. Do you know what I mean? If someone's got it and it's good, fair play.
There's a
But,
few good ones in there.
They're all right, but I don't know. I don't think I suit them. I think I'm all right without.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just fine.
Just
Cross
let
my
your
dreams.
fist
Doing
do
just
the
fine.
talking. Yeah. I've got a game as well. Sorry. Oh no, I was saying sorry. Games are fun.
Okay, go on.
Okay, you ready? So this is a name game, and then we're gonna do a this or that. Okay.
Okay.
So just think of like the first name that comes to your head. You don't need to do it.
The first name. This is going to be like MMA related, yeah?
Yeah, this is
okay.
MMA
Yeah,
related.
go on then,
So
go on
this
then.
is the name game. Okay. Funniest UFC fighter.
I think Conor McGregor at his peak was pretty funny.
He's really
I've got to say, he was pretty funny. Yeah.
Derek Lewis has got to get a mention
Derek Lewis
there as well.
is very funny as well.
Derek Lewis is so funny, like in the ring. Yeah. Weirdest UFC fighter.
I don't mean this in a bad way, because I actually quite like weird.
Weird is. I'm so weird, babe.
I think
we love
Yuri
it.
Prohaska is pretty weird, but in a good way. Like if you're getting about with that thing on your head that he's got, that ponytail thing.
He's dangerous, mate.
That's Yuri Pro. About me and Yuri are friends.
Yeah. He's sick.
He's definitely weird in a good way.
In a good way. Weird in a good way. Weird is good.
I like weird.
We like weird. Angriest UFC fighter.
There's a lot of them as well. There's a lot of angry ones.
there's loads to pick from.
I don't think the angry ones are particularly good.
Then it's not good to be angry.
I think if you're emotionless, that's where you want to be.
Emotionless?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I think ice cold is the way you want to go when you're fighting.
Well, even when you're in the cage?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely
You
the way
can't
you want to go.
hone your anger to create power.
I think Robbie Lawler would come off as angry. I don't know if he was angry though, but he always
Have you
looked
met
like
him?
No, I've never met him. Oh, you mean like angriest in the cage
No,
or
angriest
outside?
in general, babe.
Oh, it's got to be the little one. What's his name? Henry Cejudo. He's angry at the world, isn't he? He's constantly crying about something.
Oh, man. That's a good one. That's a good shout to you.
Worst trash talker in
The
the
worst?
UFC. Yeah.
I think Colby Covington. It's just corny, innit?
Right.
It's just cringy. You can tell he's practiced them and everything.
You're not a
It's too
fan.
rehearsed.
It's not for me.
Who will lose their belt first as UFC champ?
I'd have to think about all the champions, wouldn't I?
Give us some champions.
I would say the flyweight one moves around a lot, and I don't follow them as much. They're being small guys, I don't really watch them that much. I know they're all really close in levels and stuff, so they always go to a decision as well, or most of the time they do. So I'd say the flyweight.
It's changing around, yeah. Okay, so out of the current champs, who will remain UFC champ the longest?
So who've we got?
Volkanovski.
I think I'm a massive Volkanovski fan.
I love him.
I think he's got a really tough fight.
I think he's my favourite fighter.
Yeah, me too. But I think he's got a really tough fight. I think you'd have to say Islam Makhachev's going to stay for a while.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, I think so.
You know who I was walking past the other day? Hamza, just down my road.
Oh yeah, he was in Manchester.
I know,
yeah.
I know. And I was with my friend and I was like, are we going to get a selfie? And he was like, no, don't bother him. And as soon as I walked past, it was over in a second. I was like, I wish I got a selfie.
You missed it. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to play this or that. Okay. Ice bath or warm shower?
What, just for fun?
What do you prefer?
Well, a shower, obviously. Warm shower.
Okay.
What, just... Yeah.
I mean, some people actually enjoy ice baths.
I mean, I've got an ice bath. I've got one.
Do you do it every day?
Not at the moment, because I just keep getting tattooed. But,
do you not enjoy it?
No, I don't enjoy it, but I think it might aid my recovery. And if it helps me a little bit, I'll do it.
It benefits you. Netflix or night out? I know.
Netflix.
Hard spars or hill sprints?
Hard spars.
Would you prefer to be the favourite or the underdog?
It doesn't really matter to me. I'd say underdog, but it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Fight of the night or clinical shutout?
Oh, clinical shutout all day.
Really?
Like, who wants to be in an even fight? Not me.
Not
like,
you.
if I can beat him, if it's a one-sided beating and I'm like the one swinging the hammer, like I'll definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Knockout or submission?
Knockout.
Trash talker or let your fist do the talking?
Let my fist do the talking.
I know, that was obvious one. Okay, £10 million or undisputed world champion?
Undisputed world champion.
£10 million?
Yep. Undisputed world. You can make £10 million as undisputed world champion.
Can you?
Yeah.
Really?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Okay. Okay, this is the last one.
Yep.
So you mentioned on Twitter that your dream fight would be with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Yeah? So hypothetically speaking, would you rather fight him, Brock Lesnar, at UFC 300 or Jon Jones at Old Trafford?
That's a very good question. Jon Jones at Old Trafford.
Boom.
Because I want the undisputed.
Yeah.
I want to beat the GOAT. That's ultimately what I want.
Yeah.
Mate, don't get me wrong. Brock Lesnar is a fun fight. Very fun fight. It's a lot of fun. It would make me giggle in 10 years when it's all over. I'd be like, oh, look, I fought Brock Lesnar then.
Like good times, man.
But if I can beat the GOAT, who everyone says is the best ever to ever do it, I'll take that all day.
Of course, of course. So, should we end it with the signing the cast?
If you would do the honor and privilege of
yeah.
signing my
He's
broken
gonna
hand.
get the pen.
That's going to
You
get
have a
taken
pen?
off soon,
One
isn't it? But I
sec.
will do.
Yeah, but listen, I'll cherish it while it's there.
We can do it.
If you could just write Tom, the Northern Nightmare, Aspinall.
I'm not writing that. But I'll write.
Worth a try.
I'll write my name on it. Fucking, it's proper freezing there.
It
Isn't it?
is,
It's
man, I'm
really
telling
cold.
you.
Oh,
Here you go.
I'll come
oh
to
yeah,
you,
we can do
man.
that. Where do you want it, mate? Just on the hand.
Yeah, wherever works.
Just sign it, or do you want me to write anything special on it?
Freestyle, man.
I'll just sign it.
Northern Nightmare.
Oh, it's a bit of a. I'm not writing.
Yeah,
that.
it's not the hard cast, but it will work.
But I don't want to hurt your hand.
Nah, it's good. I'm on a lot of painkillers.
Did a love heart on it as well.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Listen, it's an absolute honor and privilege to have met you, and it's an even bigger privilege to have you here on the
Thank
KO
you.
show.
Thanks
so
for
thank you
having
so
me.
much
Thank
for
you.
having
Thank you
us.
for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, listen, massive fan of yours. Can't wait to see where this year takes you. And
Thank you, man.
we'll be there.
We'll be there
all the way. We'll
cheering,
be there all
yeah.
the way. 100%.
Thank you.
Can't get rid of us now.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you for being you, man. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Tom Aspinall, everyone.
Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the KO Show with your hosts Kaz and Ollie. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, all of that jazz, and we'll see you next time. Mwah!